Yeah. Yeah. Geez, I feel like it'd be safer to practice on my team than practice at home.
Okay, well then practice on your team instead of practicing at home, because yeah.
Oh man. Amazing. The last point that we had on the list here was women in leadership. Yeah, I mean, that was something that you brought up that you felt was important, and we tagged it into the employee side. Like, I guess what was important to plant a flag on that one for you?
I think it's just the importance of women in leadership positions, invisible leadership positions. The research overall is very clear, especially the board research. So actually, a friend of mine did her PhD on this, and in her PhD, she proved that boards that were 50-50 had better outcomes than companies with all male boards. So I thought that was really interesting. They actually performed better over a number of years.
Right.
And I think it's just, we need representation. We need representation at the table. There isn't enough females in visible leadership positions in organizations still.
Right.
I think we're still struggling to get there. There are still all male leadership teams, and how do we, support women throughout their career? And there are roadblocks that happen that men just don't have to deal with. Women do have the responsibility of bearing children, and that's huge. But how are we continuing to support women throughout their lives into some of these positions, and really encouraging, especially the younger generation, to continue with their careers. And that's not even touching some of the issues around representation by any racial majorities or any of that. I'm just talking 50% of the world population that's not necessarily at the table. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a topic that I am far from have any expertise on, but I wonder if like there's anything specific or like actionable things that you feel women could do, or things that are holding them back. Like, what if you feel that they're underrepresented, like what's the change? How do you like help someone act as that catalyst? Like, what would you suggest? How would you kind of suggest someone take whatever that step might look like?
I don't necessarily think it comes down to the women. I think it actually comes down to the men.
Right.
It comes down to men being allies. It comes down to men supporting women in the workplace. It comes down to men speaking up for their coworkers who get walked over. It is up to the men in the room sometimes to deflect that. Sometimes a woman might raise an idea, and a man might say the exact same thing 2 minutes later, slightly differently, and the woman, it gets ignored, and the men's idea gets picked up. I've actually noticed it in rooms. It's happened. It's amazing. It's in times like that men need to be allies and speak up and say, no, this wasn't my idea. This was, this woman's idea down the table a little bit more. So let's explore it a little bit more from her point of view. Or it's parroting ideas or supporting ideas. So if a woman speaks up and you think it's a great idea, support. It's all those things.